Okay, so as you know, I'm not here today. I will be back tomorrow, but I want to go ahead and get you started on your weather and climate notes. So yesterday I had you write weather, and we didn't even get started on the notes because we were trying to do the talk, read, talk, write. So today we will do the weather notes, and we will go ahead and do the climate notes. So why don't you go ahead and make sure that you have weather and climate written on your table of contents, okay? Okay, so to start, make sure that you have your title for weather. And we're going to start by writing the definition for weather, which is the atmospheric conditions at a specific point in time. Okay, so what that means is that the state of the atmosphere, what is the atmosphere like right now usually? What will it be like in about an hour or 2 hours or even tomorrow or even on Friday or Saturday? So that's all that weather is. It's what's happening today. So we're going to write some key points that I want you to remember in regards to weather. Then I'm going to give you a way to remember it, another test taking strategy, and then give you things that cause weather to happen, and then types of weather. And then on Friday we will talk about examples. So to begin, I'm just going to write like little bullet points. Can change many times in one day. Okay, so what this means is sometimes if you've ever come to school and it's really warm, and then all of a sudden when you leave school it's really cold outside, or you come to school and there's no rain, but when you leave it's raining. So that's what it means, that it changes many times throughout the day, or it can change many times throughout the day. It talks about weather, usually describes what's happening at a specific location. So in terms of weather, we typically talk about a smaller area. So I'm going to write usually describes a small area. And this happens, like for example, the meteorologist or the weatherman that's on, whatever channel that you're watching, he will talk about the weather that's happening in Fort Worth. He'll talk about sometimes the weather that's happening in Dallas, but he will never really talk about the weather that's happening in Los Angeles, because that's not the area that we are worried about. He's not going to talk about the weather in Houston or San Antonio. It's more the specific conditions that are happening in the Fort Worth area, because that's what's affecting us. He'll talk about the temperature, the amount of precipitation that we get, or if there's going to be high winds or thunderstorms or things like that. The meteorologist will particularly focus in on the Fort Worth area, because that's the area that we live in. And that's not to say that every meteorologist focuses in on Fort Worth. It just depends on where you're located is where that meteorologist is going to focus in on, okay? Another thing I want to make sure that we write down is that it changes quickly. Now, I know that kind of goes into what we were saying with that it changes many times in one day. Yes, that happens, and it's in a very quick manner, but I also want to make sure that I pinpoint out that it does change quickly. Okay, and so a way that I remember weather is I write out the word weather, just like I always have. Okay, and then I write the word today, because that tells me that weather means whatever is happening today. Okay, so that's how I remember weather. Some other things that I want you to consider knowing is the factors that play a part in weather. Temperature, wind, moisture. It's a funny word. And air pressure. Those are some of the terms or things that relate to weather or that's a factor of weather. And then down here, we're going to write the types of weather, of course. So what I might do is I just might make a little bubble map and put types of weather, and then I'll say hot, tornado, rain, windy, snow, muggy. I don't like muggy. It makes my hair look frizzy. Foggy. Freezing. Okay, so those are some keywords that you can remember, or anytime that you see these types of words somewhere, they should help you remember that this is talking about weather.